NSFW. People who got their nudes leaked. How did it affect your life? Not me so much as the poor bastards that saw them. I hear there's a support group now. You know there are some thirsty methodicas in here when there are no comments. But the thread isn't rising. Late to the game. But I'm aware I've posted on Gone Wild. I was even a cam girl for a while. But one day an old high school friend was asking me about me doing porn. I thought he was referring to my cam girl thing. Nope. Apparently, an ex-boyfriend had posted videos of me on Pornhub. They had my full name in the title. Clear shots of my face. Everything that can identify the girl in the video as me was there. I was devastated. This was someone I thought I could trust. Allowed him to record what we did together and he posted these videos with my ducking name in the title. I saw the uploaded date. It was uploaded the same month I had gotten engaged. So I'm sitting on the couch, crying my eyes out when my then fiance comes through the door. I told him what happened, showed him the videos and told him if he wanted to cancel our engagement. That's okay. I understand. He told me to stop being stupid and helped me get the videos removed. Really easy to do. Just claim you were underage. We've been together for 4 years. Married for 3 this year and we have a beautiful child together. So it didn't affect my life at all. Duck you. Ron. I hope you get flea bites on your D. Edit. Jeez. Y'all. I didn't make my husband watch the videos. I simply showed him that they existed. I was not underage. I didn't get into the Gone Wild and cam girl games until I was 18. I claimed to have been underage to get the videos removed quicker. High school friend wasn't the video poster. He just brought it to my attention that there were videos of me posted. There's an old sewage department saying, if you got a nice drain pipe, there's no reason to hide it. I was in my young, dumb teenager years in the height of digital cameras, and before cell phone cameras really displayed much more than a pixelated guess at an image. Was also gay in a town where there weren't really any obvious gay guys to speak of. So internet, Yahoo Messenger in this case, was the only space I could really figure out to act on that. And I was desperately seeking some acceptance that a guy could ever want me. Which meant of course that I ended up talking to a lot of older guys who preyed on a lot of younger guys looking for just that. The good thing, I was smart enough to not show my face on my nudes. The bad thing, the fact that my best friend left his student ID at my house and I didn't realize it was clearly visible on the floor next to one of the photos I took. The result, my friend spent some time wondering why he got random, creepy MySpace messages from old creepy perverts. Edit because this is confusing people. I used a digital camera, which captured great detail. Too much detail. I did not use a cell phone camera, which would capture no detail. Also, my cell phone at that time did not have a camera. I leaked them myself but nobody cared. I was at a party that got out of hand and there was a hidden camera there. There is video of me having sex but fortunately I'm pretty far back from the camera and there is another couple more in the foreground. I'm recognizable, especially for about 30 seconds. But only barely. I could plausibly deny it is me. 3 people have asked about it. With 2 I played dumb and said it wasn't me. They may or may not have believed me. It doesn't really matter. The other knows for sure because she recognizes the room deregistered sign core and knows it has to be me. It's a little awkward but there isn't much I can do about it. She seems to be keeping quiet about it. The guy from the couple in the foreground confronted the guy who hid the camera. Some punches were thrown. Had pictures of my D forwarded to 3 people. Potential job. I was at interview stage. Ex-girlfriend, before the psycho one, and an old friend. I didn't get the job. The woman who interviewed me basically spent the whole time questioning me about it. I'd apologized and explained my ex was nuts but it apparently wasn't enough. My ex-girlfriend thought it was funny, said she'd missed him and we hooked up one last time. Old friend said you gross and we reconnected briefly. Got together, smoked some weed and watched movies. Only saw her a few times after that, so not that badly. I mean, I'd prefer it hadn't happened but it wasn't life ruining. So I've got nudes of myself floating around multiple very populated Discord servers. I've got no one to blame but myself for this. But I'm someone who's not ashamed of their body or shy of nudity so it really doesn't bother me. If anything, I find it quite funny. The story behind them getting OSI leaked goes a little like this. I was raid leader for my guild in World of Warcraft. We were progressing on a very hard boss, Mythic Star Augur, and the DPS check was super tight. We just had a 15% wipe. Not super close, but it was our best. Me being the motivational guy that I am said if we kill it this pull I'll post a nude on Discord, and lo and behold we killed it. So being a man of my word, I decided to fluff the little fella up and take a nude in front of a mirror doing the okay hand pose. Needless to say, people found it hilarious, but it then started to spread. I'm on some other Discord servers completely independent of the one I originally posted it on, and I still sometimes see it crop up. People don't believe me when I tell them it's me, but I know the truth. Edit. Here is a Photoshop of the nude. SFW. Not much. Got a few nice cock compliments. Gays are thirsty itches. I don't know if this counts because it was pre-internet and they certainly weren't leaked. I was a nude model for various magazines that focused on outdoor healthy naked lifestyles. I'd grown up thinking that bodies were perfectly natural and nothing to be ashamed of, and worked my way through college posing. But one of the people in my dorm randomly stumbled upon a pictorial display in some obscure magazine and immediately informed everybody else. The immediate reaction was shock and horror, and one of my good male friends immediately offered to take me back home away from the scandal. I told him that I hadn't done anything wrong, that I wasn't leaving, and that I refused to be ashamed. Honestly, as soon as I took that attitude, and everybody saw me take it, it became acceptable. So much so that I ended up winning a college award for the most unexpected act that year. I wasn't expecting anything like that, but I was, not nastily, called Angel of the Centerfold for the rest of my time at college. This wasn't nudes or photos of myself, but it was a childhood family friend. She grew up into this attractive, busty blonde who is amazingly smart and kind. One day I'm on a streaming website, not porn, and bam, meet hot singles in your area. It was a photo of her in her graduation dress. It was the creepiest ducking thing I've ever seen. It was taken from her Facebook profile that is set to private and somehow made its way to this AD. I didn't know what to do, so I quickly closed it. After a short while thinking about it, I decided it would be best to tell her. I tried to find it again so I could show it to her, but it was like a ghost. I must refresh that site 1,000 times. Found nothing. I love the internet, but when it happens to you or somebody you know, it's quite shocking. I had an ex show the one pic she had of me to all her friends and a few of mine. I like to think she did it to hurt me, but it kind of backfired for her. A couple of her friends said it was not bad, and months later at a party her sister brought it up, and a friend who hadn't seen the pic said she felt left out, wanted to see. A couple of years ago, someone emailed a link to a gallery of my nudes to my parents. It was awkward. I got my phone stolen last year, and it had photos of me and my girlfriend having sex. Her face is completely visible in it. I'm scared to death that one day they'll show up on the internet like Reddit, or that the sick duck who stole my phone kept them for himself. I sent a nude to my girlfriend in high school. She showed her friends for some reason. Luckily I didn't have my face in the pic. Didn't really affect me. I never really cared who's seen my D or not. But I did break up with her because that's a ratty thing to do to someone who has your trust. I posted some pictures on Gone Wild when I was 19. A guy at work saved them and would tell people I sent them to him. Then he'd go on about how I think I'm hot, but I'm not. How I promised to do all these depraved things with him, but he wasn't going to go ahead with it because I was ugly. It terrified me because he told all his department. So I told the managers and they talked to him. He was leaving soon, so they didn't do anything but wait for him to go. Still a painful memory. It did not affect my life at all, but that's probably because I am a man and really open with my body and stuff. Somewhat an exhibitionist, so no one really gave a it. I believe for women it is way worse. I accidentally emailed my now father-in-law a picture of my D. That was when me and my wife were first dating, and now we're married. He was cool about it. We're good friends now. Sophomore year of high school I transferred to a new school after finally talking my mom into getting me out of Catholic school. I know a good number of people at this school already and it was an amazing transition all in all. Then, I met a human disaster that I'll just call Cock Goblin. At first, Cock Goblin seemed nice. We talked in class a bit. She told me she was into me and being a realist. I couldn't find any reason to pass a possible blow or two. So, we start talking. A bunch of my friends find this out and proceed to tell me all about how much Cock Goblin was a garbage person. Once again, being realistic and a horny high schooler. Continued to talk just in case I could score just one blowy and call it off. So we start kind of sexting one night and I'm at a friend's and tell my friend what's going on. She starts telling me about how she's been trying to get people she knows to knock her up and all this insane it. Then, Cock Goblin asks for a picture of my ding dong. What did I do in this moment of clarity when I realized my little Jimmy Buffet was going to stay in Margaritaville and not Cock Goblin's baby dungeon? I googled something along the lines of Hulk's D and sent her a large and slightly green D, then stopped talking to her. I guess she didn't realize that this greeny weenie wasn't mine and started showing it to people out of spite perhaps. Anyways, the results were some people started asking me why I have a green hog and that floated around a few friend groups for a while. It was interesting to see who got it and if they believe in my big green cock. One of my best friends had a real asshole of an ex who circulated private photos after a breakup and also sent them to her father. She was mortified for a while and it took her some years to move past the sense of violation from the ordeal. I've felt my privacy was invaded when friends shared candid photos of me, fully clothed and doing nothing that would cause embarrassment, on Facebook. All that considered, I imagine it's situational and person specific. My abusive ex threatened to leak them after I left him, sent me a picture of myself he'd taken, all spread out, saying he'd post them to Kazaa. This was a while ago. I was 16 and them 17 at the time, and he was 18. I promptly went to my parents, apologized for what they were going to see, and showed them. My father immediately called his father and basically said, "You make sure those are removed and never shared, or I'm making sure your son gets jail time." Allegedly, his father sat him down by the computer, put the fear of God, but rape, and prison into him, and sat next to him while he deleted all of them and uninstalled Kazaa. I've never seen them again, but if I did, I wouldn't hesitate to go to the cops myself. A later ex apparently had plans too, but after we broke up, I still had access to his home and cleared out his camera card. He was pretty angry, honestly. I wouldn't have even cared that much, as it was just pics of me topless with Sharpie designs all over me, but I knew he was a nasty pose that would leak them to be malicious. Went to school with a girl who had her nudes leaked way too many times to count. It was wild that this girl was so easy to send these photos. 10 years later she's a nude model and making a ton of money doing it. You go, girl. Accidentally posted a nude on Snapchat story a couple of years ago. Didn't know how to Snapchat. I was surprised at how thoughtless and apathetic people can be. I lived in a boarding school, and thankfully the guy next door came and warned me immediately after. However, I had to ask my roomie to take it down since I didn't know how, and by then 8 people had taken a screenshot. I contacted all those people and asked them nicely to delete it since it was posted by mistake. Everyone said they would, but I have become aware that at least 2 of the people still have it and have showed it to mutual friends, where they apparently have all laughed and talked about it. Thankfully I had to move because of my education and have made new friends who don't have access to it. However, during that period I felt so shameful, and like everyone I knew had seen me naked and now only saw that every time they looked at me. One of the guys who took a screenshot kept asking me to hang out in his room afterwards. I had never talked to that guy, and some other dudes began thinking they could get with me easily. One of them made up a rumor that he fingered me, and many believed it because it was a very detailed story that he couldn't have faked. So yeah, guys and gals, please stay cool if you get a hold of a nude that wasn't meant for you. Not me, but my art teacher in middle school. She had been an adult model of some sort in her younger years. Every year, some student would inevitably dig up an old magazine with her in it and bring it to school. Kids would pass it around in her class. Good news is, every year there were also students who would end up coming forward and taking the magazine. We'd shame the immature kids just enough that they'd still giggle about it in their small groups, but never in a way that the teacher may see or hear. I assume she must have known it was happening a few times, but there was never a reaction on her part that I know about. She was a great teacher. When I was a senior in high school, I sent out a pretty good picture to a girl A. The next day when I came into school, another girl came up to me and asks, "Is this you?" Showing me a picture of my member. Capital I. Shocked. Ask her why girl A sent that to her. She tells me that someone else sent it to her. Turns out it got sent into a group chat. I thought that my life was over and I would be ridiculed. Turns out that I was wrong. After that moment I hooked up with so many girls in such a short span of time and got the rep of having an attractive D. Confession time. I sent a D pic to someone in high school. One of their friends asked for it, male friend, and went ARD showing people saying it was his. Strange this is he showed me too, probably not knowing that it was mine. I was like, yep, that's actually my D. Funny moment was he actually showed the girl who is now my wife. We had no idea until a few years back. She made a comment about it and I confessed that I had sent a D pic. Put 2 and 2 together. TLDR. A friend gave another friend my D pic and he showed it to the woman I ended up marrying. Finally people could receive them without them blocking my account. Dated a chick a couple of years ago who had her nudes leaked when she was just 15. She was 19 when we were going out. What was worse was that she had no idea who'd done it, as she used to send them, with her face clearly visible, to multiple people. What was even worse was that all of them were above the age of 18. Needless to say that all her classmates and teachers found out and ostracized her completely. What's even worse is that it spread to other cities in the country, and she still gets harassed by anonymous people sending her such pictures regularly. Essentially, her life's been an absolute clusterfuck for the last 6 years, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop. If you're going to send someone a nude, do take into consideration that it will still exist long after you two have stopped contact, broken up.